The agentic world is here. And if you're not using this in your business right now, you're going to get left behind. Roofing company doesn't even answer their phone. The sale is actually made after the 8th or 10th follow-up. We have built an operating system. It's made up of 3 main agents that shares a brain. It runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week from that $1,000 machine sitting in your pocket. It's pretty cool. First one, Samantha, she picks up the phone when you don't.
Hi there. This is Samantha.
Hope is my AI executive assistant. I haven't touched my email in a month and a half. Third, Chase. She's a sales development rep. She helps follow up with prospects for 6 months. Last, this to me is the key to it all. Centralized brain. It's trained on your business. If you're an early adopter to this technology, you're going to be light years ahead of everybody else. We only have 10 spots available right now. Welcome, everybody, to our latest workshop. I am super excited and stoked about this. This is something that I think is going to completely transform our industry, right? And as we are seeing things happen with AI, just in the past couple of years, we're seeing all sorts of really cool things come out. The hardest part is really figuring out what we should be focused on, right? And how do we use it to either save us time, right? Or how do we use it to make us money? Okay. I'm going to show you how to do both of those things here today. So welcome to our latest workshop, how to build an AI operating system for your roofing company. We started down this path probably 5 years ago. Okay. Pre-COVID, actually, I guess that's longer than 5 years ago at this point, right? So 6 years or so ago, we started using AI in our agency, Roofer Marketing Heroes. And essentially, we started using it like everybody else uses it now and on the content side of things, right? Really, in the way that things have evolved inside of the AI industry, and if you followed me for any length of time, you've seen that I'm an AI geek. I love to geek out on this stuff, right? I love to build things. And lately, we have been building things using AI for us and for our clients. And I like to focus on tools that are going to help us, but really, what we're going to show you today are pain points that are major pain points inside of all contractors, not just in the roofing industry, but every single contractor out there in the world. Okay. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to show you exactly how to fix some of these things. Okay. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it all. Before we do, I want to start with something that I've been talking about quite a bit. And now lately I have been using it as the very first thing that I tell all clients, right? I tell every roofer out there, do what everybody else isn't doing. This is the rule that guides absolutely everything I build. And that's simply because it's going to make you stand out, right? Last month we showed you guys how to build a Disney-like experience in your roofing company, right? Something that wows people and will make you completely stand out. If you didn't get a chance to watch that, just go to our YouTube channel. We have it posted there. Just go and watch that. I gave you absolutely everything that you needed for that. A lot of it are like prompts and stuff like that you can feed into ChatGPT or Claude or any of those kinds of things. What we're going to go over here today, though, is a little bit different. And this is kind of the evolution of AI in general, right? We first started AI, and if you don't know what AI is, I guess I should start there. AI is artificial intelligence, okay? Most of the world got introduced to that about 4 years ago when ChatGPT came out. Okay. When ChatGPT came out, it was this free tool that anybody could use, and you could talk to this AI, right? Which is really a large language model. A large language model is essentially something that's been trained on languages and it's programmed in to be able to interact and so forth with you. It knows everything, quote unquote. Okay. So the reason behind that is because it's been trained on all of the data. And when I say all of the data, it is constantly going out there and finding new data and bringing it back, just like Google does, right? Bringing it back, processing it, and learning from it, okay? So the evolution started really with these large language models as us chatting, okay? We're chatting back and forth. Hey, how do I do this? What's the capital of Texas, right? Whatever. People use it and they have it sitting in that pocket, in that machine sitting in their pocket, right? Um, I know that my kids use it quite a bit on things. I use all of these things quite a bit, right? I first started with large language model type things like with Chat GPT. I've progressed onto all sorts of other things like this whole agentic idea, right? The agents essentially are now doing the work. Okay, we had us, this evolution of us going back and forth and hey, can you create me an email to do this or this or this? We take that, we copy and paste it into our email, and a lot of people still do this, right? And yes, it does speed you up today still, but what if you had something that could do it for you? What if you just gave it some instructions, kind of like you do with an employee, and it goes out there and not only creates the email, but then it says, hey, do you want me now to send this? The agentic world is here. Okay. And if you're not using this in your business right now, you're going to get left behind. Okay. It's going to be the people that are using AI to its fullest advantage. Those are the companies in the next 18 months that are going to win. And I say 18 months because AI is changing at such a fast pace. It's learning at such a fast pace. New tools are coming out pretty much hourly at this point. So it's really hard when you're trying to pay attention to those kinds of things. What do we even focus on? Right. And I say focus on one of two things or both of these things in your business. First, and I mentioned this earlier, first is how does it save me time? Okay. If I can take something, create an agent out of it, and it can save me 4 hours a day, heck yeah, I'm going to use that. Right. The other part is how do I then give something like that to my employees so that they can save time and they could be more efficient and they can do more things, right? We give them these tools, and these are the things that I'm going to talk about today. So the other part is the sales, right? How can we make more money using AI? How can we move faster? How can we provide a better customer experience? All of these things is exactly what we're going to talk about today. But let's first start with the problem, right? And this is a problem that I've run into time and time and time again. Okay. So I'm going to open with this question here. Don't we all? We all need leads, right? We need a steady stream of those leads. But almost every roofer that comes to me, and I've even been told this, I just need more leads, right? The problem though is that's not the problem. If you have somewhat of a steady stream of leads coming into you from referrals, from Google, from different places, right? New marketing agency could help some of those things. It doesn't always. What it typically exposes is the flaws in your operations. It exposes the flaws in your sales process, right? And we have seen it time and time again. The very first problem that we expose almost always, like 99% of the time, is we find out that that roofing company that has just come to us, that we're giving them leads, doesn't even answer their phone. And when I say doesn't even answer their phone, they're missing phone calls left and right, like 50 to 60 to 80% of the time. We see this over and over and over again in the roofing industry. Okay. How are you going to make a sale if you don't even pick up the phone? All right. So that's the first problem that really, really is exposed. The second problem, and we see this because we have access to y'all's CRMs, we see exactly where your sales pipeline is breaking down. It is most likely breaking down in the estimate sent stage. And when we dig into that, almost always we ask, how many times do you follow up? And it's maybe once or twice. But research has shown time and time and time and time again that the sale is actually made after the 8th or 10th follow-up. But yet 90% of y'all, probably higher than that, are only following up once or twice after that estimate is sent. Okay. So big, huge problems. Marketing is not your problem, even though you think it is. So I'm going to tell you a story here. We worked with a roofing company that was spending about $30,000 a month in their Google ads. And we kept hearing over and over and over again, I need more leads. Well, when we started looking, we're like, we're sending you like 350 to 400 leads a month, man. What do you need more leads for? Well, my sales are only, such and such. And so when we really dug into a sales pipeline, we found out that he was only closing at 3%. Three out of 100 leads, he was only closing 3 sales. Okay. But yeah, he wanted to grow really, really, really big. So we kept digging, and we kept telling him, well, it's your follow up, or you're not answering the phone, right? Or just all of these things were just completely exposed. He was not listening to us though. So that's client number A, $30,000 a month spend in Google Ads, 3% close rate, dismal, dismal. We had another client, same time frame. Client B, by the way, still works with us, right? Client A doesn't because he went on to another agency and needs to find more leads. Okay. And by the way, if client A had all the tools in hand that we built just recently, he'd be super happy because we'd be making the millions. Okay. Anyways, sidestep here. Client B, they had a $1,500 a month spend in their Google Ads. Sometimes it was 2,000. They might push it up a little bit here and there. Pretty small. Their close rate, when we dug into it over a year's time frame, right? This wasn't just an anomaly, just wasn't 1 month or 2 months. This was over an entire year. And really, we just dug into their stuff again. And then really over 2-year period, okay, they've been closing steadily at 50%. Sometimes it's a little bit lower, like 40%. The next month, it's probably 60%, right? But on average, 50%. That's a huge difference. I showed him, client A, I showed him their numbers. And he said, they are spending a lot less than me, but making more money. I said, yes, that's exactly what I'm telling you. So I dug into client B, right? I interviewed them and I asked them exactly what they did. Why are their sales so much better? Why are they so much better than all of my other clients, honestly? Because most of ours were ranging anywhere between this 3% upwards of really 25%, which is standard industry, right? But nowhere near 50%. So I asked them, and it's a husband-wife team, by the way. I asked our client, what are you guys doing? They answer their phones. Imagine that, right? They answer their phones and they commit to answering it within 3 rings. Easy. They have 2 people answering their phones. So if one person is at lunch or on the phone or whatever, the other person answers. Okay. And if those 2 people are busy, then it rolls over to someone else. Okay. But those 2 people's jobs, that's exactly what their main part of their job was. Okay. So that was step number 1, answering the phone. Step number 2 was following up after the sale. Or sorry, after the estimate was sent. Okay. After you've gone out, you've done the appointment, you've given them an estimate in hand, the homeowners an estimate in hand. They followed up. They followed up relentlessly for 6 months. Relentlessly. Okay. But not like pushy sales. None of that kind of stuff. Is very, soft touches. Hey, just wanted to make sure that, you've got everything in hand. Do you actually have the estimate? I mean, first of all, you have to do that, right? And ask, did you actually get that estimate in hand? Do you have any questions, right? They come at it every single week, every single month for 6 months, right? From a helpful standpoint. I'm here to help you make it an informed decision, okay? Which is what sales should be. Client B, right? A lot less spend, a lot more sales. I don't know about y'all. Which client would you rather be? The client A who's burning cash, or client B who is making money? Okay. I'd rather be that client B. All right. So in the next 45 minutes, I'm going to try to wrap up at the top of the hour here. I have a tendency to talk a lot, but we've got a lot of really cool things to go over here. In the next 45 minutes, we're going to see this system. I'm going to show it to you firsthand. At the very end, we might do some live demo so you can kind of test it out if we have time. If not, then, feel free to reach out to Rochelle here to ask her to show it off to you. Okay. We're going to find your leak, number 2, right? We're going to calculate that multi-million leak that's sitting there right now, hiding in your business, in your numbers. Hopefully you know your numbers. Number 3, we're going to make a decision. Are we going to employ these AI employees or not? Okay. So let's get going here. First of all, who am I? My name is Chris Hunter. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of roofermarketingheroes.com. I'm the author of the Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers. If you don't have this enhanced state of very end is 336 pages of my past 20 plus years knowledge in the industry. And it's the exact blueprint of what we do for our clients, the marketing side of things. Okay. We are members of NRCA, the National Roofing Contractors Association of Texas, RCAT, the Roofing Contractors Association of Texas, and HARCA, the Houston Area Roofing Contractors Association. Okay. We're embedded deep in the roofing industry. We've been doing SEO. I personally been doing SEO since 1998. If you do your history check on that, that was before Google even existed. First website that I ranked was on Yahoo, right? Who even checks Yahoo anymore? But yeah, that kind of dates me. I've been doing this stuff a long time. Random fact about me, I love to smoke Texas barbecue. If you are in College Station, Texas, where I am sitting right now, you come into College Station, let me know in advance. I will smoke up a really good brisket for you, or pork butt, or whatever. I smoke all sorts of stuff. And by the way, my doctor loves to hear me say that when I go in for my checkup. Do you smoke? Yes, I do. Anyways, total side note. All right. We are on a mission here to double the size of 100 roofing companies by 2028. What we're going to show you today could easily do that, right? Just by simply implementing the systems that I'm going to show you. Okay. Now, you're not here to hear about me, but I do want to go over my framework. It's exactly what I wrote about in the book. Our framework, our marketing framework is just that. It's a framework. It's an evergreen framework, because as things stop working in each of these pillars, we just simply take them out and replace them with something else that does work. Okay. So the base pillar is your reputation. This is the foundation of everything that you do in your marketing and in your sales. If your reputation stinks, if your reputation doesn't exist, it makes it really hard to do anything else, right? That actually works. And trust me, we've tried to do it over and over and over again with clients that had a poor reputation or just didn't care about their reputation at all. It doesn't work. Okay. So that's your base pillar. Second pillar is reach. Getting in front of more people today than knew about you yesterday. This is what everybody comes to us about. Hey, get me ranked on Google. Help me get more leads from Google, blah, blah, blah. All those kinds of things, right? That's in that pillar. The latest one that we've added in there is AEO. Our industry is still trying to figure out exactly what we're going to call it. It's GEO or AEO, AIEO, whatever. It's basically getting ranked on ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity or Gemini. Okay. So those are the big ones out there. So that's what that is. AEO, AI engine operations. It's not operations. No. So optimization. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so that's the reach pillar. The third pillar is resell. We're 8 times more likely to sell to somebody who's had a positive experience with us before in the past, but yet none of the roofers that I have ever interviewed out of thousands actually do anything in this pillar. They never go back to their database. They never go back for a cross sell, right? To offer window siding, gutters, solar. None of them. None. Zero. A big goose egg. Okay. So out of thousands that we have talked with, this might be something that would set you apart, right? I have a whole workshop that we did last year on that. Go look it up in YouTube. It gives you the exact blueprint of how to build this system right here. Number 4, referrals. We all love referrals. They're 80% more likely to actually convert, right? They're so much easier to work. You don't have to call them back 15 times. Sometimes you do, but you don't have to call them back 15 times in order to make that sale, right? They already know, like, and trust you. Okay. Very few roofing companies that I've ever talked to actually have a written down referral system, referral program for their roofing company, right? Much less their employees don't know about it. Their own owners don't even really know exactly what they do. They know what they did when it was just them, but as they scale, no idea, right? Well, yeah, I used to do this or I used to do that, but I've gotten away from that. So this system right here can catapult you up dramatically by simply building a system to get referrals in, and not just from the homeowners, but from other people like real estate agents or insurance agents, right? If you had a steady stream of referrals, you wouldn't need to spend hardly anything at all on your marketing whatsoever, right? That's what this pillar is for. You combine all four of these pillars together and you have an unbeatable marketing system. It's a framework again. Remember that you can take things out and add things to. Okay. All right. Today we're going to work on building this AI operating system. So download the workbook if you will here. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anything like that down the road, go to roofermarketingheroes.com/AIOS workbook. I know that's going to be hard to do if you're driving. Please do this after you get back. Okay. If not, if you're watching this on YouTube or you're here live, just click on the link here or use the QR code in order to download the workbook. Okay. What that is going to give you is something along the lines of this right here. Okay. So let's calculate. Let's take a few minutes here, right? And let's calculate what your leak is right now. Okay. So, and I'm going to give this we're going to spend about 2-3 minutes on this, right? I want you to dig in, and some of these numbers you might not know off the top of your head, but guesstimate, right? What's the closest estimate? How many leads per month did you get last month? Okay. Was it 50? Was it 100? Was it like that one client with 300, 400? Okay. Whatever that number is, add that in there. I'll give you a second here to dig it up. You might need to be digging into your CRM for those numbers. If you're running entrepreneurial operating system, you should know this off the top of your head because you're looking at those numbers every single week. Okay, so add the leads per month. Next, let's add the estimates that we sent, right? Out of those 50, how many estimates did you actually send out? Was it 40? Like in this case, right? Was it 10? Okay, that's big difference there, right? How many estimates did you actually send out? Now you can calculate your close rate based off of that, right? How many, now actually I'm missing one number here. How many sales did you make? Okay, that's I think in the workbook. How many sales did you actually make? Okay. If you made, let's say out of those 50, we're looking at these numbers. If out of those 50, you made 5 sales, all right, we'll keep the math simple. That's a 10% close rate. Okay. If your average job is $9,000, right? Sometimes when we talk with clients, sometimes they're higher, 15,000, sometimes they're way higher, like 30,000. Whatever that your average job is that month, let's put that number in there. Okay. That should give you your actual sales monthly revenue, right? That you got last month in the month of March. But you can do this on any single month. You can go back and look at your numbers from last year at this time in the month of April. You can look at your numbers from last year in the month of May, right? And do a little bit of broadcasting there. All right, so let's look at our close rate, right? What was it? Anyone want to put their number in there? And anyone brave enough to put their what their close rate was? How many leads? And I'm talking cold leads, phone calls, form fills, DMs, whatever. David, you got 37%. Great. That's a really good close rate. I like that. Anything north of 25%, I would say is a really good close rate, in my opinion. David, lots of referrals. Okay, so that's where your lead source is coming from. So that's great, right? We love referrals. We talked about that as the top pillar there, right? But if you're even thinking about expanding into something, like search engine optimization, or in the case of that client A with Google Ads, we want to make sure that with cold leads, okay, meaning people reaching out to you from Google, you got to treat those way different than you do with referrals. Referrals are easy, right? That's why we love that top pillar there in the 4R system, right? People that reach out to you, however, that are cold, those have to be worked at a way different pace, a way different velocity. Okay. All right. So let's look at the annual gap here, right? So this is a huge number. Okay. In this example, okay, current monthly revenue at a 10% close rate, $36,000. Respectable, you know, means that you're probably getting around $400,000 a year ish, right? In annual revenue. Revenue, though, at a 50% close rate on those same numbers, those same leads, those same numbers everywhere else except for just changing your close rate, right? That brings it to $180,000. The annual gap on that is $1.7 million. And that's what I was trying to tell client A is that they were literally burning through millions of dollars in lost opportunities simply by not picking up the phone and not following up. Okay, so it's a huge problem. So here's the shift that I want you to think about the rest of today and really the rest of the week and the month here. Right? The roofers who dominate in the next 18 months won't be the ones with the biggest ad budgets. Okay. They won't be the ones with the slickest websites or even the best ads. They're going to be the ones with the best systems running behind the scenes. Okay. AI is going to make those systems accessible to everybody. Right? We've got a few people here on this workshop. Our emails go out to our list of thousands of roofing company owners. Okay. We have thousands of views every single month on our YouTube channel. Do you think if AI is the equalizer here, and it is, and it's going to be in the next 18 months, does it not make sense that the first adopters to that using AI agentic systems to help you have a better system are going to be the winners? I do. I 100% believe that. I believe what we have built so far and what we're going to be building in the next 18 months is going to completely change our industry so much. And we're going to be able to catapult roofing company after roofing company after roofing company, because this is the same exact problem that we have dealt with for the past 20 years of working with roofers. RoofingSites.com. Since 2018, RoofingSites.com has helped roofers double their sales by getting their marketing right using the 4R roofing marketing system. If you're a roofing company owner wanting to grow your business, be sure to go to RoofingSites.com and sign up for a roofing marketing strategy session with me. So we talked a little bit about how the husband-wife team, client B, actually closes 50%. Okay. And the way that they're split up is that the husband runs the sales, the wife does the back end. She runs kind of the operations of the company itself, kind of a thing. Okay. This is 2 years worth of data. This is exactly what, when we ask them, how are you doing this? It's here. And I've already talked about this. So I'm going to breeze right through this. All right. Number one, 12 to 15 touches. Those 12 to 15 touches are over 6 months, not 6 days. Most roofers, almost all roofers, and I've even heard this from my own clients when I asked, well, did you follow up with that lead from 2 months ago? Did you follow up with that estimate from 2 months ago? Oh, they've already gone. Do you know that? Have you called them? No, I don't know. They're already gone. They already found someone else. How do you know? Right? Anyways, 12 to 15 touches. That's step number one. Step number two, on every single touch, and this is literally an Adam Bensman. If you don't know Adam Bensman, right, the roof strategist, great at sales. He's great coaching on the sales side of things. We digested everything that he has put out and have built this system based off of his processes here. So every single touch, right? So when we say 12 to 15 touches, it's actually really 24 to 30 touches that they get, because every single touch you're doing several touches. Okay. Text and email is a minimum. Pick up the phone, definitely call, right? That's you've got to do that. Okay. So if you multiplied those, it could be anywhere in between 24 to 36 to 48 touches per prospect. Okay. Number three, always add value, right? Don't just check in. Hey, call them to check in, see how you're doing. And what are you thinking about this? made a decision yet? No, provide value. Okay. Hey, we've got a hailstorm coming up here pretty soon. You might want to jump on getting that roof fixed, right? Or we just had a hailstorm come through. I know you haven't moved forward yet. Do you want us to come out, see if we can help you with your insurance? Maybe your insurance could help pay for that, right? Whatever. You're providing value every single time that you reach out. Seasonal hooks, exactly what I just talked about, right? Hook it into storms, hook it into, I mean, we're deep in the heart of storm season right now. There's supposed to be tons of storms going through the Midwest, right? Everywhere from Texas all the way up to Chicago, up to Illinois, right? Moving all the way through the Midwest, right? There's supposed to be hail, tornadoes, all that kind of stuff. This is what we should be calling our prospects about right now. Okay. Hey, and I just gave that illustration, but hey, we've got a bunch of storms coming through here. You want me to come and make sure that you're at least patched up before these big storms come through, right? Winter, it would be the same idea up north. Don't have to worry about it too much here in College Station, Texas, right? I think it snows once a decade here, something like that, right? But up north, y'all get lots of snow, right? If you're in the Chicago area, you get tons and tons of snow. Right. So if you got big storms coming through, you got, people with ice dams or whatever up there during the winter, call them using those seasonal hooks. Okay. Here's the tricky part. You've got to remember everything. Okay. And they do this client, does this using notes. Every time that they call, they make a note. Right. Every time that they email, it's in the system. Every time that they text, it's in the system. Don't you think that AI could do that too? I do. Okay, so that's the system, right? It's 5 steps, 5 easy steps that's hard to do. Okay? It's hard for people to make that mental jump of these. This is how I do this. And this might not be you. This might be you having to prod your salespeople to do this, right? Most salespeople, like I said, give up after 2 to 3 follow-ups. All right, so let's meet this operating system. This is what we're talking about here today is we have built an operating system, right, for your roofing company. All right. We named it an operating system because I'm a geek. I like operating system type things, It's made up of 3 main agents, right, that shares a brain. All right. It runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week from that $1,000 machine sitting in your pocket. It's pretty cool. First one, Samantha. We built this about a year ago, okay, and released it about a year ago. She has been in production for about that time. We've ironed out a lot of issues with her, right? At the beginning, there were issues with her actually picking up the phone, answering correct, all those kinds of things. We have completely, I think, ironed all of those issues out, right? That's Samantha. She picks up the phone when you don't. She gives your staff 3 rings, sometimes 4. We let y'all decide, but you don't want to let it go past 4 rings because homeowners are not patient. I don't know if you've noticed that. They're just going to go on to the next roofing company that's in Google. They're just going to keep calling until someone picks up the phone. Well, if Samantha picks up the phone and can qualify that homeowner and set the appointment for that estimate, don't you think that would be a good thing to do, right? So that's exactly what she does. Hope. Hope is my AI executive assistant. I've been using her for about a month and a half at this point. I haven't touched my email in a month and a half. I looked yesterday. I asked her actually yesterday how many emails that she went through. She went through over 150 emails in my inbox yesterday. Going through all those emails is a mental strain. It's a time suck, right? I have a mentor, Dan Martell. He says that you need to buy back your time with someone who is less expensive than your time. Okay, you as the business owner, you're the most valuable time of that entire company. Okay, if you're doing $8 an hour job for $120 an hour pay, there's a big mismatch there, right? So he says to get things off your plate. Executive assistant is the very first thing that he coaches people on taking off of their plate. So what does an executive assistant do? She manages your email. For me, she manages our project management system, which is called ClickUp. Okay. She keeps me on my toes by giving me alerts of, hey, this is happening. You might need to know about this. Okay. Because she's constantly looking into our project management system, our help desk, all of these kinds of things. Now, the cool thing is that recently I rolled Hope out. I felt so comfortable with her that I rolled her out to my staff, right? Not everybody needed her, right? But the people who were the busiest got her, right? So Rochelle and Kenneth got Hope. By the way, I called her Hope because I really hoped that she would work, and she did. So her name is Hope. All right. So rolled her out to them. I think that they're pretty happy with her, right? There were a few things that we had to iron out. We worked through those, you know. She gives me a daily briefing, and I'm going to show you this here in a little bit, but she gives me a daily morning briefing. When I wake up, essentially, she's telling me what's going to happen this day, what I need to prep for. Okay. At the end of the week, she gives me a synopsis of the entire week. Okay. Things that are on my calendar because she has access to that, things that came through my inbox. She proactively asks me, hey, do you want me to take care of this? I think that I could do that. Right? Whether that's sending out an email or whether that's helping to manage a project. She can do those things. Pretty cool, right? All right. Third, Chase. Chase is an AI sales rep, SDR. Okay. She's a sales development rep. She helps follow up with prospects for 6 months. She's trained on Adam Bensman's scripts. She's trained on how to be helpful. She's trained on hey, if it's this during this season, maybe mention some seasonable things. Okay. Yeah, Adam is a beast. He's awesome. So Chase chases people down, right? Notice how I've got a theme going with how I'm naming them. There was no rhyme or reason for Samantha. That's just I named her Samantha. I don't know why. Hope and Chase had had purpose, right, to their name. Chase also gives me a daily briefing of everything that's happening in my pipeline. All right. So she's actually split up as two kind of main purposes. One, she keeps me in the know, right? Because I'm managing the sales process, right? I'm the sales manager, let's say. Okay. Second, Rochelle here is in charge of sales, so therefore it proactively contacts her to let her know when the next follow up should be. Okay. She sets tasks for her that's telling her what the next step is. Hey, did you follow up with Bill Smith? He was very interested in our services. Oh, hey, I followed up with Bill Smith and he said this, right? So she's kind of the medium in between everything that's happening. She has access to our CRM, which, by the way, can email and text message directly from the CRM. She has access to a tool that's called Telegram that sits on my phone, right? That proactively tells me, what's going on, okay, at all times. So that's that. Last, and this is, I think, really, this to me is the key to it all. Every single one of these agents, right? Because we've tried agents before in the past, and you've seen throughout the past year or so, these major corporations, I think Salesforce came out and said that AI isn't working for them, right? Here's the reason why. There's no centralized brain for those agents. So imagine if you hire somebody, an employee to do any of these jobs, but yet you only gave them context of what their job was, but didn't know context whatsoever for everything behind the business. Imagine you hired an executive assistant that had no idea what your services were, what your service hours are, when to contact you, doesn't know anything, right? That's, I think, why agents fail. AI agents fail, is that they have no context behind everything. Well, the brain is the centralized area for all of this memory, if you will. It's trained on your business. It's trained on you, what you like and don't like. Okay. It's trained on how you want them to talk about your company. Okay. It's trained on your brand voice, your brand colors, everything, your service hours, your services, your service area. It knows everything that you tell it, right? And if you find something, by the way, that you forgot, you just tell Hope, hey, I completely forgot to tell you this, but we actually also service Hearn, Texas. Can you add that to your memory? Boom. It not only adds it to her memory, but to Chase's memory too. I mean, how cool is that? Right? Number two, every agent has their own memories as well. They have long-term, short-term, and long-term memories, just like humans do. So guess what? They learn over time. That's, I think, the key to all of this. And as we build agents out, every single one of those agents are going to have access to that brain. This system, the AI operating system, is going to be a beast for anyone that actually applies it into their business. Okay. All right. So let's meet Samantha. What does she do? All right. So the problem is that, we've talked about this 30 to 40%, upwards of 80% of calls go to voicemail. All right. Samantha actually answers the phone. She doesn't sound like a robot. And in fact, let's listen to her. This is Samantha. This is a voice AI receptionist that is trained on qualifying the person that is calling in. Can y'all hear that? And on actually booking an appointment. I'm going to demonstrate that real quick right here. Okay. So I'm going to call this phone number and I'm going to put the phone number down below this so that you can demo this yourself. All right. It's actually calling. And if we don't pick up within two calls,
for quality purposes,
if we don't pick up within two rings, then the voice AI assistant comes on.
Hi there. This is Samantha, an AI receptionist for Demo Roofing. Are you calling to schedule a roofing inspection for repair or replacement?
I think it's repair.
Got it. Let's get started. Can I have your name, please?
Sure. It's Chris Hunter.
Just to make sure I've got it right, your name is CHRISHUNTER. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Great, Chris. What seems to be going on with your roof?
I have a leak near my chimney.
Oh no, that sounds frustrating. Let's get that sorted out. Could I have your email address to set up the appointment?
Absolutely. It's chris@roofingsites.com.
Just to make sure I've got it right, your email address is chris@roofingsites.com. Is that correct?
Yes.
Perfect. Now, could you please provide your address?
Sure. It's 1511 Texas Avenue.
Thanks. Just to confirm, your address is 1511 Texas Avenue. What city is that in?
That's in College Station, Texas.
Thanks for confirming. Let's schedule that appointment. What day and time works best for you?
How about Monday at 10 a.m.?
Monday at 10 a.m. works perfectly. Your appointment is set. One of our roofing experts will follow up with you after this call to get any other details they might need. If you have any questions, feel free to call us. Have an awesome day.
Thanks, you too. That's Samantha. Pretty cool, right? She picks up when you don't. Okay. Pretty awesome. All right. Awesome. Okay. Now let's meet Hope. Hope is that AI executive assistant. I went through a lot of this already. So I'm just going to go straight into the demo here. Howdy, I wanted to show you something really cool that we built here today, and I've been using this for at least a month at this point. So basically, Hope is a AI agent that is my AI executive assistant. She manages my inbox. She gives me briefings on tasks that are waiting on me, that my team needs help with, and so forth. She acts as an executive assistant, helping me manage my entire business. So this is pretty cool. All right. So first of all, this is in a application called Telegram. Okay. There's a free download. You can run it on your phone. In fact, that's how you set it up typically, is on your phone first, and then you can download it as Unigram. That's the Windows app that you can add to your laptop or whatever. So you have multiple ways to access Hope. Okay. Hope essentially gives me a morning briefing every single morning. Okay. As you can see, it's pretty lengthy here. I'll go through this real quickly. It's all sorts of things to let me know what my day's going to look like and help me prioritize things and so forth. She has access to our project management system. So she has access to all of our projects and what I am working on here. So as you can see right here, what's due today is create AIOS funnel page. That's actually done, and I'll show you here where I communicated with her that it's done, and she marked it as done inside of our project management tool, ClickUp. Okay, so she gives me a briefing about today's calendar. She gives me a couple of conflict flags. I've got some overlapping meetings and stuff like that. Inbox stuff that I need to be aware of. Okay, and she says right here, you want me to run the full inbox triage. So this is the coolest part. I have not touched my inbox probably in a month and a half at this point. And essentially, she will go through and get it to inbox 0, meaning that there's 0 emails in the inbox, and she sorts things into 4 different folders, into either a to-do folder, things that I need that are waiting on me, into a folder, things that I need to follow up on, or a delegate folder. And essentially, if they don't belong in any of those folders, then she archives them. So she's really good at sorting those things out. Now, down here, as you can see, I told her you can mark the sales SDR task as complete because I completed that, the AI brain task, and a couple of other ones, right? And she went ahead and did that. And I told her to triage my inbox. And so she's working on that right now. Anyways, this is how I'm managing my business right now. And it's actually really cool to be able to do something like that using an AI executive assistant called Hope. Okay, so pretty cool, right? She's managing my inbox. She's doing all sorts of cool things. All done. I communicate with her via my phone, right? Of course, I can communicate via my desktop too, right? Because of that app, but I'm communicating with her primarily through my phone. I'm out on a walk. I could hit the microphone thing, talk to her, tell her to add a task for me, whatever, right? Tell her to close out tasks, whatever that I need to do. Okay, she can pretty much do. So that's pretty cool. All right, employee number 3. Let's meet Chase. Right, Chase, right, is that sales rep, and she chases people down. So I'm just going to go straight into that. Howdy, everyone, and this is exciting. We are showing you Chase, who is our AI sales rep. Okay, so basically she sits in the back end of the CRM, follows up with leads as they come in, and more importantly, she does follow up with the customers, homeowners, whoever for sales after we send the estimate. Okay, so the biggest part of Chase is that she first connects via an app called Telegram here, and that's what I'm showing you. And basically, every day, every morning, you wake up to a daily briefing. So you can see this is our daily briefing here for this morning. And she gave me a rundown of everything here. So I need to check the current count for our lead stage in our pipeline. There's 24 active prospects. She went through and proactively closed out 10 contacts who had D&D'd themselves, which just means that do not disturb. So they unsubscribed, and so therefore, or said stop and so forth. And so she just went ahead and cleared them out, because if they said that, they're probably not going to be an actual prospect. So she proactively went through every single one of our stages here, and she is following up right now as I speak with all of these prospects. Now, additionally, she is following up with our sales representative, who is Rochelle, right? She's in charge of sales right now. She's also my ops manager and so forth, but she's currently running sales. Chase is chasing her, okay? And the reason that we named her Chase is because she chases people down, right? And follow up, because that's the biggest issue that we have in the roofing industry, is just actually follow up, right? So anyways, you can see she gives us my daily priorities, right? Today's priorities: pipeline refresh, hot lead outreach, and follow up sequences for the agreement sent stage and so forth. Anyways, I also wanted to show you this. A new lead came in, and basically it's just someone that called. She proactively reached out. Someone sent a message back. She said, I see this message, or Rochelle said that. And she told Chase that she saw the message, and Chase let me know, because I'm managing Rochelle, about all of this. Anyways, super, super cool stuff here. This is just the beginning, but essentially this is going to solve one of the biggest issues that I see right now inside of the roofing industry, inside of our industry. And I think it's going to help make a lot of roofers into multi millionaires. Okay. Appreciate it. Thanks. Okay, good. All right. So last but not least, I think this is the key to it all is this AI brain. I went through that earlier, right? We want to make sure that all of these agents that we build, all of our employees, right, have access to the brain that understands what we do, why we do it, where we do it, how we do it. You can feed SOPs into this brain. You can do a whole bunch of stuff and just add it, add it, add it. The more that you add, the more that you tell Hope to add to the brain and long-term memory, the better that the entire system gets. Okay. So pretty cool stuff. So we've got 4 employees, 1 brain running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As we come up with new agents, we're going to simply plug them into this whole AI operating system. Okay. And they will have instant access to all of the knowledge that you have been feeding into the whole system, which again is the key to anything AI. Okay. So here's my question to you, right? You can leave this workshop. You can be roofer number A, where you do nothing. Okay. This is all cool. I don't have time for this. Whatever that you want to say there, that's fine. You're going to be at the same place that you are today. Okay. Roofer B that says, hey, I want you guys to install this stuff for us. How much does it cost? Let's go. Right. They're going to be in a way different place. And especially I keep projecting out 18 months. Right. Because I think that we're at when you look at an adoption curve on technology, right? Let's say that computers way back in the day, or even the internet, right? There's this technology curve, right? It's like a bell curve. We're right now at the very beginning stages of this bell curve. Once it gets to the masses, once technology like this right here gets to the masses, it's going to be a lot harder to compete, right? Because everybody else is doing the same thing. If you're at the beginning stages, if you're an early adopter to this technology, you're going to be light years ahead of everybody else. And probably you're going to be purchasing those companies, right, that don't have this technology in, because you know that as soon as you plug this technology in, you're going to catapult that business, right? And you're going to go leaps and frogs ahead of them. Okay. So I want you to think about this. Are you going to be roofer A or roofer number B? So let me tell you about this operating system, right? We only have 10 spots available right now. We did this purposefully for beta tester users so that we can iron out all the bugs. You get direct access to me and my team to help iron out all of the details, because with any kind of technology, I don't care what kind of technology that you implement into your business, whether that's a CRM or whether that's new computers for the team or whatever, you're going to have issues. And so you want someone in your back pocket. We're limiting it right now to 10 so that we can iron out all of the issues that are going to come up. Okay. This whole system we're going to build in 90 days for you, for your company. Okay. It's a 90-day road track right there. Okay. The other part, and I've been thinking hard about this, is that I want these beta tester users, because they're going to be helping us so much, right, to build this system out. You're going to get the foundation rate, the founding member rate today. Okay. So you're going to be locked into that rate. We're never going to increase it unless we absolutely have to, right? Meaning that we have other agents that we install for you. But I'll tell you that even one of these agents by themselves will more than pay for themselves within 1 month, okay, of actually installing it in your business. So the full stack here, we're doing the whole value stack. Hope, right? If we were going to go out and hire someone like Hope, most likely we're going to spend $5,000 to $10,000 a month, right? We put $2,000 a month here just to be conservative, okay? The value of Hope, of having a really good executive assistant. Number 2, Chase, having a really good sales rep, right? Sitting behind the scenes, doing all the junk that she's doing. I put $1,000 a month, but man, you're going to be upwards of $3,000 to $8,000, I would say, sitting in the back end there, right? Of an actual human doing that. Samantha, right? Voice AI receptionist. We put a value of $500 a month. Obviously, she's going to be way more valuable than that, right? AI brain, we put a value of $300 a month on that, right? That's the thing sitting, the database sitting behind your entire business that's training everybody else. Okay. Memory system, right? Short-term and long-term learning. Okay. For every one of those agents, around $200 a month. Mobile app access, right? That you can manage your entire business using your phone. Okay. $200 a month. AI advisory. So this is something I haven't talked about, but I'm going to have a group after those 90 days. We're going to meet monthly. We're going to go over all the new advancements in AI, right? We're going to record those. You're going to have access to those trainings, all of those kinds of things, because AI moves at such a fast pace that I think that it's valuable to have a coaching group sitting behind all of this stuff, right? Community, right? You've got the replay library, you've got ongoing build updates, right? We're going to have to change with as the AI themselves changes, the models change, they get smarter, but we have to plug those things in, right? We have to make changes constantly to systems like this right here. Okay, so you get an hour a month. You say, "Hey, Rochelle, Chase did this. It was weird. How do you get her to stop doing that?" Rochelle goes, "Oh, we'll get that implemented next day or two. Boom, it's fixed." Right? 90-day implementation and training. Right? We're going to show you exactly how to use this system. We're going to help you roll it out. We're gonna walk you through and hold your hand on all of this. Now, here's my guarantee: it works, or we keep working. We are committed to making this work. So if it's not working for you, we need to know why. And we're going to go and we're going to continue refining the systems until they are working. And of course, you get that grandfathered founding rate on all of that. If you add all this up, it's quite a bit of money there, right? Real value of what you get, at least $5,000 a month. Our public launch price, right? When we go public with this in probably 60 to 90 days, it's going to be $1,000 a month because that is such value on that, right? We're selling it today right now for $497 a month, right? For 10 spots. That's it, 10 spots. And we're going to our entire database. We're going to our entire list. We're going to customers. We're already talking with our clients about this. Okay. So we only have 10 spots. We've got a couple already taken up, people that have expressed interest in the AI operating system. Okay. Make a decision here today in order to move forward, I would say. Okay. If not, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. This is not a hard sell whatsoever. We're here to help you, right? We're here to help you build your systems and make you more money, save you more time. Okay. I will tell you that hope alone is saving me 2 to 4 hours every single day right now. It's huge, huge, right? Okay. If you're interested, if you're listening to this later on Spotify or whatever, right, go to roofermarketingheroes.com/AI operating system, or use the QR code that we show here. You can sign up there. It's basically just a form right now. We don't have any kind of payment system set up. This is literally just a wait list. We want to see what the interest is going to be before we do too much. We've already built this system for ourselves. We're already starting to implement it for clients. They're very interested in it as well. But this is a wait list. We will contact you back. If you are interested, go to that website. We created a little website that it outlines everything, what you're going to get, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Again, this is here to help. I believe you install this today, by month 2, even month 1, honestly, right? You're going to be seeing huge results in your company. Absolutely huge results in your company, because even one sale more than pays for this whole system, right? So imagine if you can get to that 50% close rate just from installing Chase, right? Huge. And again, I'm going back to do what everyone else is not doing. Okay. Be one of the 10 in order to move forward. I don't ever do hard sells. This isn't a hard sell at all, right? But I want you to have this in your hands. All right. If you are interested. All right. Now that you stayed to the end, get a free book. Go to go.roofermarketingheroes.com to get my book that I created, that I wrote, called The Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers. Like I said, 336 pages of my knowledge and the exact systems that we put into place for our clients. Obviously, the AI operating system isn't in there. You know, that's such a new thing. Maybe I'll get a book out on how to create an AI operating system, right? But use the QR code or go to go.roofermarketingheroes.com. Last but not least, if you're struggling with your marketing, you love knowing how all this stuff works, but don't want to do it yourself, you want someone else to do it. We have 20 plus years of knowledge in the roofing industry. We have experts on staff. We would love to help you. Use the QR code here or go to roofermarketingheroes.com/schedule in order to get set up with Rochelle and to have Chase. She'll chase you down. Okay. So just remember that everything that I've shown you here today is exactly what we have in place for our own company here. I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, roofingsites.com. Since 2018, roofingsites.com has helped roofers double their sales by getting their marketing right using the 4R roofing marketing system. If you're a roofing company owner wanting to grow your business, be sure to go to roofingsites.com and sign up for a roofing marketing strategy session with me. Also, this past year, I published my book, The Ultimate Guide to Digital Marketing for Roofers. If you're a roofing company owner and you don't have this book in your hands, I will send you a free digital copy. Just go to go.roofingsites.com and I'll send you a free copy of my book. Well, roofers, join me next time when we connect with another great roofing entrepreneur and learn how they hack their growth. Until then, I'm Chris Hunter. Thanks and gig 'em.